Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another short episode of Expert Burnout Tips with me, your host, Cait Donovan, who is also the host of the Burnout Podcast. And I created this show as an addition, as a spinoff of the Burnout Podcast, because I want you to have access to the top experts in the burnout field that are going to give you actionable steps that you can implement today, that you can try on right now. Because I need you to understand that no matter what you've tried, no matter who you've talked to, no matter what you've done, there is always another method, and there is a way, somebody's way that you can adopt and borrow that will move the needle for you and get things rolling in the right direction. So today I get to talk to Dr. Mandolen Mull, who is, now I need to scroll back up to her bio because I typed too many things, who is the founder of MullMentum Consulting, so funny, where she helps organizations across the globe develop their people, their teams, and their organizations through robust mentoring practices. Her primary focuses are employee engagement, change management, and operational alignment. Mandolen, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Cait. I'm thrilled to talk to you today and talk to your listeners.
I'm so excited too, mostly because I have a LinkedIn crush on you.
Likewise, reciprocated.
Hashtag true story. So I'm really thrilled to have this conversation. And we always start this with, what is your number one top tip for burnout and who is it for?
Yeah. So I honestly think this is really very broad-based. Mm-hmm. But my number one top tip is this idea that I don't think we really know what comforts us, how to regulate our own selves after like a rough day, right? So I think about this because I was recently thinking about, how we talk about self-care, and it's always like, oh, go get a massage, go get a, spa day, which is nice, but that feels a lot like should. And to me, should is a 4-letter word, right? So I think a lot of people do things that they should do in terms of self-care, in terms of how to regulate after they feel like they're starting to get a little burnt out. So they do a lot of shoulds. I should take a vacation. I should read a book. I should go for a walk, without really understanding that it resonates with them. So I was reading a list of things that can help people feel very in tune with themselves. And one of the recommendations, y'all, was to take a warm shower and crawl into a bed with clean sheets. And I thought, I totally feel better when I do that. That is a genius idea, but I had never thought about that. And I started to think about the models of self-regulation or emotional regulation that I saw, the coping mechanisms I saw growing up. And a lot of that was, alcohol or anger or just other things that were not healthy. Or these shoulds that didn't quite fit. And so my best advice for folks is find the thing that actually does feel comforting. It may be curling up in a blanket, a really comfortable blanket, and watching that, and you just think, I feel safe right now. I feel calm right now. I feel good. Tapping into that. Because I can't tell you what makes you feel comforted. I don't get to give you value, right? I hope that I do, but I don't get to tell you this is really valuable for you. You get to assign the value. So I think you have to do a little bit of self-inquiry, because when you start to build in those kinds of self-care, true, meaningful, personalized self-care, you start to dial back that allostatic load that's creeping up on you so much. And that can help you chip away at this beast of burnout.
I love this so much. And I read a research article maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. And the entire research article was about how beauty calms our nervous system. Mm. So maybe this is something as simple as, that blanket that you just wrapped yourself up in. If it's scratchy, but it's pretty and it bothers you, get one that's pretty and not scratchy. Like, right. I feel like TJ Maxx and Home Goods should sponsor my shows, because I'm always like, go get a more comfortable blanket. Go get a mug that when you put your hand in it feels really good to you. You might not think. I have this one that has like a little handprint.
See?
Yeah. And I love it. It fits me perfectly. So find the things that really work for you. And if you hate your kitchen towels, get new ones. I know sometimes it's hard to connect what that would have to do with your burnout, but overall, creating all these small moments of joy, of beauty, of calm, of comfort overall makes such a massive difference long term. I'm such a huge fan of this advice.
It does, right? Because burnout doesn't just happen out of nowhere. It happens because of these small incremental things creeping up on us. So it's going to take some of these kind of small things that gets us to dial that back. But again, we have to step back and really fully assess and kind of re-engineer what it means to us of what do I genuinely derive joy from? What actually feels good to me? What am I doing? Am I doing these workouts because it's the grind, guys? That's not it. Yeah, you can physically be, getting the endorphins going, but if you don't love that workout and it doesn't feel like self-care to you, it just feels like something you should do, that's more load on you that starts to contribute to burnout. And it's just, we get ourselves into these things of, I think I should do this or I have to do this. And I want you to sit there and think, this feels right for me. This feels comforting for me. This feels nurturing to me. This feels nourishing to me. A lot of things we don't tap into enough to say, this is my brand. This feels right for me. And I think that's really powerful against burnout.
I absolutely agree. If you had to sum this up in one sentence, what would you say?
Know your brand and what comforts you through a bad day.
Love it. I totally put her on the spot and she did a great job. All right. And I know that there are people out there that are saying, okay, well, if it can be that simple, there's probably other ways that she knows to make it more simple. So if somebody's out there listening right now and they're like, I need to talk to her yesterday, where should they find you?
They can find me on, I'm on most of social media, but I'm also at MullMentum.com. That shows my Instagram account there. And I am on LinkedIn. I love meeting with folks, trying to support people. This is some gnarly stuff we're up against. It's taking all of us to support each other, champion each other, cheer each other on. And I really believe when we support each other, we're going to go places.
And I think you should absolutely follow Mandolen on the socials because there is a book coming out this summer and you'll want to know about it. Want to tell us a little bit about the book?
Yeah, influencers and imposters. So what I talk about is messy leadership, right? I talk about the idea that we're going to get ourselves into complacency traps. We're going to get ourselves into these imposter syndromes, and all these types of things that can be kind of gnarly and harsh. And let's just be honest about that. Let's know what it looks like. Let's know what our resources are to navigate our way out of it. And that's my hope, is to be able to support leaders who find themselves, influencing people and just not having the rule book. I'm hoping to help support that.
I love
Reduce
that.
a lot of the shame.
We need a new rule book because we are in a new time. All right, everybody.
Right.
Should you need Mandolen's advice, please head to MullMentum.com, connect with her on LinkedIn, Instagram, and all the places. In the meantime, we'll be coming at you in just a few days with another episode of Expert Burnout Tips. And should you desire a longer form content and a deeper dive into burnout, you can head to friedtheburnoutpodcast.com, where we have nearly 200 episodes of advice, stories, and sharing so that you know that you are not alone, you are not to blame, and we can get through this together. Until next time, everybody.